Making things familiar is another way to help transmit what you want to the subconscious, because the mind finds it easier to do what's familiar. There are a few reasons for this. Firstly, the more familiar things are, the easier it is to visualize them in detail. Just think of a space you know really well, like your bedroom. It would probably be really easy to see the space in great detail in your mind's eye and describe all of that detail as though you were in it, even if you weren't. Something you know very well or that's very familiar is just very vivid and real in your mind. And we talked about this before. The more vivid and real something is in your mind, the more it exists for you, the more it's a part of you. Which brings us to the second reason it's good to make things familiar, which is that what is known can be repeated. And when something can be repeated, it can become gradually more embedded into the subconscious. It can become more automated and turned into habit. When you're first learning to drive, for example, at first it can be quite taxing for your mind to have to consciously remember to do everything and pay attention to all the details in the right order. But after a while, you don't think about the fundamentals of driving anymore. And that frees your attention to be able to pay more effortless attention to the road or have a nice conversation with the person sitting next to you and still drive very well. You'll also be very familiar with this if you've ever learnt to play an instrument or dance. What at first seems awkward and effortful can eventually become second nature. The more familiar it becomes, the more the fingers do the playing, the body does the dancing. So essentially, as you create patterns of thinking or behavior that take less effort to draw on, you are writing them into your subconscious and automating them. Now, this third reason that it's important to make things familiar is because the unfamiliar is perceived as potential danger. Studies repeatedly demonstrate that humans are wired to see the unknown as threat to survival. And a 2014 study from the University of Wisconsin-Madison on anxiety and uncertainty showed that when something is unknown, many of our automatic cognitive processes are disrupted. We become hypervigilant, there's worry, there's overload, and this degrades both our ability to focus and our working memory. In other words, the more familiar something is, the safer we feel, and the safer we feel, the better, smoother, and more effortless our functioning. So the bottom line is, if you want to change a habit or learn something new, make it familiar. For example, if you want to start exercising, just make it really familiar first. Figure out what you do, where you'll do it, what you'll wear, and have all those details very clear in your mind so you really see yourself doing it. So it looks like a thing that belongs to you, that's safe, that's a part of you already. Then actually do it in a way that's repeatable. Even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes to start with, it's not about the quantity, it's about making it a part of you. So it's the repetition makes it more known, it makes it normal, no stress, accepted part of your life. It can always be lengthened once you have it as part of your routine. But first, understand it, make it part of you. Same goes for creating any other habit. Make things familiar.